What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video where we are playing some Spring Cup action. And I'm enjoying this meta so far. It's pretty condensed, I would say. You see a lot of the same picks. However, I think there are some really nice Pokemon that I'm excited to try out. And we are rocking a Ferrothorn, Pelipper, Mantine team. And basically, it's a pretty simple strategy with this team, right? And I can kind of show you guys how I'm going to use it. Where Ferrothorn hopes to catch the water types or the poison types in the lead. We've got two water types in the back to counter those fires and to counter Galarian Wheezing as well, which is quite common in this meta. Couple things. If you enjoy this content, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe as we are trying to work for 40,000 subscribers. But also, I am probably... Would you guys see my ELO in this video? You guys are probably going to be asking questions. Rise, what happened? I've only been asked not that many times, probably like 690 times so far, but I don't have the Master League mods, so I wasn't able to really compete in Master League, and rather than just sitting out the week, being like, I'm in the 2900s, I'm going to wait out the week and then Legend push afterwards, I decided I'm super low on dust. I had literally 3,000 dust at the time, so I just ran level 40 mons in Master League, knowing I'm going to lose a lot, and I lost a lot of elo. So I start this set at 2177, and 2 days later, at the time I'm recording this, I'm in the 2400. So we're getting about a little over 100 points on average per day, and I'm not too worried about it because there's still like 50 plus days left in the season, and I think we should be okay hitting Legend. But I know the next few days on stream until I get back to kind of my more normal elo range. I'm probably going to be getting those comments a lot. Make a nice catch on the Power Whip here, and I think we're in a pretty good spot. Also, you're going to see me experience some pretty hefty lag in some of these games, man. I don't know what it is. It's really bothering me right now because I have a pretty good internet connection. Like, if I test my internet speed on my computer, it says very fast, and I haven't had issues in terms of, like, even when I was streaming, like, it's not like my stream ever went down. I probably lagged out of maybe 4 to 7 games, and I also had some players that made sure to message me GGs when I lagged out of the game, because I'm sure it was an incredible game for them, and I will hope to get that fixed, man. So I'll look into it, but I don't know, it's really weird because I'm not someone that usually experiences a ton of lag. Like, I might miss a fast move here and there if I, like, come in a turn behind. But I really hope this isn't a lingering problem, because the past 2 days, I've managed to climb over 100 points each day on average, but I've probably dropped 4 games just due to lag, which is crazy. And that could be another, I don't know, right? Like 50 points a piece from those 4 games each day. So, anyway, into the battles. You guys want to figure out how to run this team, right? So I should be breaking it down a little bit more, as the Pelimeister is going to take a shield advantage here against Tenta. And I'm a little bit okay not taking back Switch because I can get a Bullet Seed down here and threaten the Abomasnow with a Flash Cannon. So... Also, I'm thinking, if Tentacruel was his best response to Pelipper, he probably doesn't have a hard answer to Pelipper in the back. So, I'm expecting Snowman to come in. Got lots of energy here. Just going to Flash Cannon immediately, put the pressure on. He has to shield this to stick around, which he does. So, we're up 2 shields. We swap in Mantine, and I'm thinking it's probably a Weather Ball, so maybe I'll let the first one go. But he goes straight for the Energy Ball. Nice play. Nice call from the opponent. I'm expecting the catch at some point. There's the catch attempt, so I go for the Ice Beam. I guess I would have thrown Ice Beam anyway. And now I'm feeling pretty good. I know this is just a Weather Ball that I can survive. So I'm thinking, as long as I save 2 shields for Pharaoh, I should be okay here. He would need literally to have like 100 energy banked to outpace my Pharaoh here to 3 moves. It does let me get out. Very nice to give him just a little bit less farm. I've got 2 shields. I better use them. Going for the power whip, and that should be enough to KO. G to the G, trainer. And Snowman. I do like the Snowman. Maybe I'll try him out in another team. But yeah, I'm enjoying this team quite a bit. Worst case is like we swap and we're counter swapped by Lantern, but that's why the Ferrothorn is there. So it's kind of like swap to lure out the Lantern with this team and try your best to overcome it. Pretty neutral matchup here. Well, I would say Ferrothorn has the upper hand. However, these Spears and Batter Snows really chunk, so I'm probably going to look to get out at some point if he's willing to commit shield. There's the first shield. Our opponent also throwing on alignment, which is beneficial for us. He's giving us free energy. So I'm going to do one and throw here. And if he shields, I think I'm just going to go straight into Pelly. We grab the shield. I catch on Pelly since he was being pretty predictable as to when he was going to throw. Could argue maybe I should have caught on Mantine instead. I don't throw my Weather Ball because I didn't think it would KO from here. So I decided to build up extra instead and shield. Threaten whatever comes in, and it's a Chestnut. It's a Chestnut, and now I'm like, okay, this is pretty good, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We don't know what's in back. And Walrein comes back. I actually let him do one extra Powder Snow, just so I'm a little bit less healthy for whatever's in the back to farm down. And it's Gastrodon. Isn't that funny? Like you're concerned, like, oh crap, I hope whatever's in the back doesn't sweep me. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this thing has no play against my team. And this is a little bit mean, I got to admit. It's a little bit mean, but we were in a bad mood from lagging. That's my excuse. Well, you know, that's not a good excuse because 2 wrongs don't make a right. Lag is a wrong. BMing my opponent here and just bubble beaming them over and over again. That is also wrong. So let me know in the comments, does this make you upset when I could literally just power whip the Gastrodon and win the game? Or does this make you happy when I can keep bubble beaming this Gastrodon and just they're completely walled by this Mantine? I think it's kind of funny. I'm sure I'm going to predict at least 3 comments. That's probably on the higher end. I'd say like over under 1.5. But I think at least 3 comments will be upset by me doing that. Now the question is, will they be like serious comments or will they be genuinely upset? Granbull. Good matchup for Ferrothorn. Resist the charm damage. They swap in Chestnut. And it's running low kick. And I actually didn't even realize it was running low kick. So you're going to see me throw a Weather Ball here because I didn't want to take another Frenzy Plant. And then I'm like, oh, wait, crap. I saw the animation go through. I'm like, oh, this isn't Vine Whip. This is low kick. And I doubt he would have got to another. I don't know the energy on low kick off the top of my head, but I doubt he would have got to a second Frenzy Plant. Going for the Weather Ball here. We grab a shield at this point. I'm like, I'm only going to get to 1 move. So I'm just going to go for this Hurricane. Boom. We land the Hurricane. In comes the Jelly Meister. And Jelly's out of here. Pretty hard counter win. Mantine. Load management that game. Like Kawhi Leonard. And here we go. If you run this team, Ferrothorn lead is kind of awkward in my opinion. Because you kind of have to stay at least for a while. And it's not the most comfortable for our backline. Because, like, if there's a Ferrothorn lead, right? They're weak to fire. So they're probably going to have water in the back. And depending on the water, our backline could be in trouble. So I do want to preserve my own Ferrothorn here, if possible. I actually decided to shield the Flash Cannon. Because I feel like Switch could be important. And I also want to preserve my Ferrothorn as well. Go for the Flashy C. And it's easy to count, right? Since we're in a mirror match. So I actually decided to catch. And we had the same idea. We were both, both trying to catch a Flash Cannon. I go for the Bubble Beam bait. The reason for this, not necessarily because I expect him to shield, but because I felt like it'll allow me to take the Hurricane even better. where he'll probably still have to throw another move after the Hurricane. So I take the Hurricane, and you see my health. Like, I'm not even in Weather Ball range yet. So I go for the Ice Beam now. And he lets it go. I know this is just a Weather Ball, or at least I'm pretty sure it's just a Weather Ball. So I let it go. What's going to come in? Hopefully I don't get completely farmed down. Hopefully I can get off a move here. I decided to give up Switch in order to not get very Fairy Winded down. I am aware that the Pharaoh has lots of energy, so I'm like, where the heck do I commit my shield? I commit it here, and I wasn't 100% sure if he was 1 away or 2 away, so perhaps could have overfarmed there more. And then in comes G-Weezy. We're going to go for the Weather Ball on what looks to be a CMP tie. So we should survive the Brutal Swing, but man, this is still a little bit uncomfortable. I'm hoping I get to a Weather Ball here. I do get to the Weather Ball. But we're shieldless at this point. I have a ton of energy, though, on Pharaoh. So I decide to throw my Power Whip, immediately swap, and try and force him to throw energy, which he does. And now it just comes down to whether we can get to this Power Whip before G-Weezy gets to the overheat. And yes, we get there. Brutal Swing would not have been enough from this range. Ferrothorn's on the tankier side. And we take out Galarian Weezing for the win. Let's go. Nice win. I think that's a 5-0 for the first set we did with this team. Once again, at the 2177 ELO mark. So you could argue maybe... could argue, if I'm being confident in myself, that my ELO is... should be a little bit higher as we go into the next set. And Pharaoh into Trev, so not great. We're going to safe swap Pelly. And he does build up the Shadow Ball, so I think I end up respecting it. But, okay, yeah, good shield. He actually went for it. In comes Pharaoh. Now, this is awkward, right? Because now, like, we're pretty much in Power Whip range, and we're down a shield. A little bit of stutter lag there. But that might have just been visual lag. I feel like this Pharaoh is still so healthy that I kind of want to get rid of it if possible, or at least get shields down. Because if shields are down, my Ferrothorn can flash cannon the Trevs. That's kind of what I'm thinking. He does a nice job throwing his move before my switch timer is up. Doesn't allow me to get out of there. So I'm going to come in with my own Ferrothorn. I'm going to make sure I overfarm here since I'm not really threatened. And if he decides he wants to give up switch and come in with Trev, for example, I want to make sure that I have energy to threaten it. There's the Thunder. Going for a flash cannon here. Let's see, will he preserve his energy and dip out, or will he just... He will, okay. So we're going to go up to this flash cannon. This is why it's so important that we overfarmed, because we get to this before he gets to a Shadow Ball. We knock him out. In comes Pelly, so I just go Mantine right away, knowing he's still switch locked. And I'm willing to just play out the zero shield scenario here. And should be okay, because this Ice Beam should do enough where he has to expend energy to take us out. And then Pharaoh on our side's a little bit healthier than Pharaoh on his side. Should live this Weather Ball, so I'm just going to throw my Bubble Beam right away, knowing that I have it. Was still 2 off Ice Beam, so I don't think I would have got to Ice Beam. Bubble Beam lands. Uh-oh, what's this lag? Pelly is still there, so I was a little bit concerned that Pelly might have had a move, a Weather Ball, and I'm like, oh crap, this is bad. I make a mistake here. I don't think this is necessary. In my head, I was thinking, like, what if I get a Bullet Seed down and come out with a move? One Bullet Seed on my side KOs anyway, so honestly, like, there's really no reason for me there to try and go for the undercharge. So that was kind of dumb, but we still got the win. Next game, Pharaoh into Lantern. This is, of course, where we want to see the Lantern. Let's see what he counter swaps. Mawile. So I go Pelly. could argue maybe Mantine is the better play here. Could argue Mantine's the better play because he can shield this and get a shield off of me. Versus, I don't know if Mantine would have to shield in this matchup. Just straight Bubble Beam. Because Mantine's just bulkier. Really weird visual lag. Like, you see my my Pelipper kind of stuttering. I don't think I necessarily missed any fast moves here. And we do just play out the 1, so. And now this is pretty brutal. Weak connection. Taking lots of sparks before we get to this Hurricane. And we're just trying to chip this Lantern. You see me, like, turn off my Wi-Fi because I, like, feel like I'm missing a ton of fast moves there. We get sparked down by the Lantern. Coming with Pharaoh. In comes his own Pharaoh. This is pretty awkward. Pretty awkward, man. Pretty awkward. But we know our win condition is Pharaoh at this point. Our Mantine really has nowhere to go. I go for the catch, hoping it's a potential Flash Cannon. And it's a Flash Cannon. So really nice catch there. That's a lot of energy gone to waste. And he actually surrenders after that. So I was pretty happy with that catch. Obviously, it was a risky catch, right? Some people are running Thunder. So in that case, it would have pretty much one-shot my Mantine. I don't know if it one-shots from full health. Because it is double super effective, of course. But it's also non-stab. So maybe you guys can let me know. What percent does a Thunder do to a Mantine from a Ferrothorn? We save swap against the Cherrim. They built up a lot of energy. I go for the Hurricane here. Like, not sure how I feel about this decision. I feel like this is such a baitable opportunity. And yeah, he shields. Obviously, if he calls it, like calls a Weather Ball, that feels bad. And I'm missing fast attacks like crazy here, man. Missing fast attacks like crazy. And you see me double shield, and like, I don't think there's any way he maybe had the Hurricane there, but look at this, like, I'm trying to attack, and there's just another move, and at this point, I'm like, what am I even doing? And then I bait the Weather Ball, thinking like he knows he can take back switch, and he calls it anyway, so at that point, I was just a little bit tilted, and I top lefted, since I missed probably like a dozen wing attacks, and we restart the app. So, it happens, man. It's about keeping your cool, keeping your composure. I feel like I'm usually pretty cool about it on the outside. I never really let it get to me too much when I lag out of games and stuff. But it does obviously still frustrate me when you feel like it's out of your control, right? That's all we ask for in sports and competition. Is that it's within your control. It comes down to your decisions and not like you just have no play because you lagged. So we see Pharaoh into Pelly. If you're in this matchup, Pharaoh can get to this Power Whip on 5 one turn before Pelly gets to Hurricane. So I throw the Power Whip, I switch. Opponent's also kind of a savage by no shielding what could have been a Thunder. And then I go for the Ice Beam here against Shadow Magane, and they no shield it. And I'm like, you know, if this was his best Mantine response, I'm just going to shield Mantine here. Shield the Frenzy Plant. Probably would have done a comparable amount of damage to Pelipper's Hurricane. And he's out of here. He's out of here. So, after our lag game, we get a pretty nice and easy win. Gotta love those nice and easy wins, right? We're playing Maurice 89. Pharaoh into Jump Bluff. So, I'm going to dip out of here. Because not that Pharaoh does that bad against Jump Bluff, but I feel like I have 2 better answers. I decided I might be better off just saving the shield for later, and it was a good decision because he comes in with Lantern. Just a really weird play from the opponent. Also a really weird play to shield his Lantern. I'm going to come in right away with Pharaoh. So at this point, we're just hoping it's not a Mantine counter and back. If it's not a Mantine counter and back, we're in a pretty good spot. If it is a Mantine counter, we're still in a tough position. I'm going to let this go. Thunderbolt lands. I get a nice little farm come out with energy. And it's a Cherrim. And at first, I was like, gonna blind swap here, expecting the pluff. But then I'm like, I'll just see what comes in. And I'm glad I did. Because now we're in a pretty good spot. Going to shield the potential move. And it's a Dazzling Gleam, so that's fine. Ice Beam should KO, I would think. Double super effective damage. Boom! Freezing the Q-tip. And we just get off this Ice Beam here against Cherrim, who's pretty glassy, so I figure Ice Beam should probably KO from here. Bop. Cherrim was frozen solid. Bro, I used to love using Sunny Cherrim when it came out with Bullet Seed, Weather Ball, Solar Beam. Was super spammy. Super duper spammy. We get a 4-1, it looks like that said, and keep on the climb to the 2200s. And I think I got one or two more battles for y'all. Let's see. Battle starting. But yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments. Is it just me that's having these issues? Maybe it's something with my internet, I guess? Or has anyone else been experiencing a lot of latency issues lately? Because it's been really bad for me. Really nice catch from the opponent here onto their Victory Bell. I go in with Mantine, which I think is a mistake, because if I had gone in Pelipper, although I take more damage, I probably could have just thrown the Weather Ball and then not have to shield this move. So probably should have gone in Pelly, but at least I have this Ice Beam to threaten his Pelly. And at this point, I am not sure what the heck is in back. Weak to Electric. Could be like a Mawile. Shadow Mawile might make sense with the fast move team. I figure I live a Weather Ball here, so I'm just going to no shield. And he does go for the Hurricane. I think that's smart. I come up with my own Pelly, and it's G-Weezy. And at this point, I'm thinking, what the heck? What the heck do I do? What the heck do I do? So this might seem crazy. Actually, swap in my Ferrothorn. Swap in my Ferrothorn into a G-Weezy who knows Overheat, which will obviously destroy my Ferrothorn. But the reason is he's switch locked, so if he overheats here, he's going to be debuffed. And then I feel like my Pelipper will be really comfortable in here. I throw on Alignment. Well, I guess anytime you're in this type of matchup, it's throwing on Alignment. But I meant to say I throw on Charge Move Priority. And I eat the Brutal Swing, and you see how little they do after the debuffs. One thing I need to work on is my ability to keep track of specifically Galarian Weezing's energy. I always lose track of Galarian Weezing's energy. And I'm forced to shield here because I got greedy. I lose CMP. But I did anticipate the swap by him. Weather Ball does KO, and luckily one Wing Attack KOs for us. So, yikes! Almost through that game. Had an opportunity to take out the Weezing earlier, I think, and just got too greedy on the overfarm. Don't get too greedy on the overfarm, ladies and gents. Something I do sometimes, something I see people make that mistake a lot. Don't get too greedy on the overfarm. Pharaoh versus Jelly, great lead. He throws on 4, so I'm like, what the heck? Bubble Beam? And that's what it is. Not sure if I win CMP, so arguably should have just thrown right away to avoid that debuff. I throw here. Okay, I lose CMP. I do shield the Shadow Ball and could have potentially farmed more. So you're actually going to see me do an undercharge here. Ends up being a perfect undercharge where I'm going to come out with 4 Bullet Seeds. I may want to preserve this energy, and I see a Grass type, so I'm just going to swap Pell, and I'm actually just going to go straight Weather Ball here. The reason is I eliminate that turn it took me to swap. So instead of giving him like a free denial in a sense, I throw first. Actually, that looks like CMP, so probably took me a turn to react. And it's Swampy and back, so we're in a pretty good spot. I decided to throw after 7 right before he could get to a potential Sludge Wave. And we get a shield, and we're in a pretty dominant spot here, right? Our whole team is good against Swampert, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I don't think Swampert's ranked too high in this meta, and what like is such a good Pokemon in the Great League meta is actually not that good, I don't think, in the Spring Cup meta. So a lot of it just has to do with the Pokemon around it. I go for the Power Whip here because I figure even if he calls it, I can just swap and wing attack down. He calls it, I swap, I wing attack down, and that is a good game trainer. So that's my Spring Cup team to start. I also did want to mention I ended up swapping Bubble Beam for Aerial Ace. I swapped Bubble Beam for Aerial Ace here. Yeah, there it is. So I swapped Bubble Beam for Aerial Ace because I started seeing like more Jellicent, and I figured having Aerial Ace also against like Wall Rain could be a little bit more useful to hit that for some neutral damage. So you could run Aerial Ace if you want. Bubble Beam as well has play sometimes when you can debuff something, and that can be effective as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, comment down below. All comments are appreciated, and send me your own Spring Cup battles or Master League battles if you want them featured on the channel this week. All that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.